In this video, guys, we are talking about fractions, decimals, and percent, and a mental tricks and tips that will help you guys to feel better about some of these numbers and use them a lot more fluently. All right, so the first couple of minutes, I would like for you guys to take a moment, use your calculator, maybe do some mental math as much as you can, but I do want for you to fill out these values. So you would pause the video, and I'm not going to fill them out for you because I do want for you to use the calculator, but I want for you to just start observing some of the patterns that you are seeing in doing. So if you would pause and then restart the video after you're done. All right, so some of the patterns that we should be observing when we have 10%, one of the things that I hope you guys remember is to move decimal one spot to the left. So for 5%, so 5 is half of 10%. So find 10% and then half. All right, and then 20%, so hopefully you were noticing that you could just double. So double 10%. You might say, well, with some numbers, it is easier. Well, it is. However, you know, the movement of the decimal one spot, it is a absolutely fixed approach, fixed rule. So when you have 6, let's talk about some of these questions. You might say, well, I'm out of digits. How would I do that? So remember, guys, the decimal point on whole numbers is on the left side of the number. So 1 unit right here. So you would have 0 and 6/10. 158. 10% would be 15 and 8/10. 19 starts right here, 1 to the left, 1 and 9/10. So with numbers like 840, again, it's all the same approach. It's 84. 361, 1 movement, 36 and 1/10. 73, or just like this, becoming 7 and 3/10. 1 movement. Again, it is considered to be mental math because we're really not going through the process of multiplication. So from here, let's put our thinking caps even tighter on our heads and do even greater percent calculation. So as before, hopefully now you're like, oh, yes, I can do this even faster. 3 and 2/10. So double of this would be 6 and 4/10. All right, so 220 or 22. 22 times 2 would be 44. That's your 20%. 100.8 would be 10% times 2. Okay, so with these, have to be careful. You know, you might have to actually do some multiplication, but yes, it would be 21 and 6/10. This is your 20%. 4 and 3/10 would be 10%. 8 and 6/10 would be 20%. Okay, so the next 3 questions, guys, I do want for you to answer them as you're watching. And then, again, just wanted for you to practice. Look at your examples above and see what you guys can come up with. All right, so from here, I am moving on to 15%, or 5%, that is, my apologies, 5%. So again, what we've been doing before is 5 is half of 10. So 86, 8 and 6/10, half of it is 4 and 3/10. 14. Okay, so that's 10%. So again, I'm really hoping that you guys are going to be trying to do mental math as much as possible. For something like this, guys, imagine this being 14. Half of 14 is 7. You do know that these are decimal values, so it's going to be 0 and 7/10. Okay, since we're working with the decimal. All right, 16 and 2/10 is my 10%. Half of this, 8 and 1/10. No magic, just very efficient with your calculations. All right, 9 and 7/10 is 10%. And then you guys have 5%. So these numbers can get a little bit harder. So you could, knowing that this is what's happening, you know, kind of pull it to the side to divide. But it is going to be 4 and 85/100. So not all of them going to be just extremely smooth, but try to do your best. And don't forget that you can add zeros to kind of help with some of the calculation. All right, so next 3 questions are yours to answer as you watch in this video. And so from here, guys, our next step is finding 15%. I know it was not in the earlier scenario, but this is your 10 plus 15, plus 5 will give you 15%. So we are utilizing a lot of our mental math skills. 18 would be 10%, 9 would be 5%. Adding them together will give us 27 for 15%. All right, so 5. This is a good one to practice with. So remember, guys, 5 for 10% of 5, we're going to roll it 1 unit decimal place to the left. Gives us 50 cents. It's 10%. So half of 50 cents, guys, is a quarter, right? And I can add a 0 right here, just kind of to visualize my numbers better. So together, that would be 75 cents. 15% would be 75 cents. All right, 248, so 24 and 8/10 is 10%. 12 and 4/10 is 5%. Adding them together, that gives us 15%. All right, so next questions are yours to tackle on your own to come up with the 15% of the value. So you can pause as you're answering these. All right, so next questions, 4 questions, we are going to answer them, again, utilizing our mental math. Okay, no trickery, just using our skills. So we need to find 20% of Jonah's paycheck. He's using 20% for his bills. So 572 will give us $57.20 as 10%. So doubling that would be 20%, which is $114.40. Just by moving that decimal, guys. Just by moving the decimal. Blair bought a bag of 2.7 pounds of gummy bears. Lucky. Love gummy bears. Anyway, so she gives 10% of the bag to her friend. How many pounds does she have? You might say, well, we already have a decimal, so what would happen, guys? You will go 1 unit to the left, just like we have been. So that would be 27 hundredths. That's your 10%. Okay, so we are asked how much she has left. So 2 7/10 minus 27 hundredths will give you 2 43 hundredths of a pound. All right, let's take a look. 5 and 15%. Let's take a look at these. Last month, 15% of 140 phone calls that Nick received were from his mother. How many times did his mother call him? So 140 will be 14 is 10%. 7 is 5%. So 21 would be 15% of the phone calls. So 21 times. You call 21 times. That would be interesting to see if you guys have a friend that really, or your mom or your boyfriend or girlfriend that is taking over your phone with messages or maybe phone calls. That would be interesting to find out who's that person and how many percent they actually call on you. And the last question, guys, we have 5% question. So we have past weekend, the grocery store donated 5% of each sale to the local school. If Sam's grocery bill was $82.60, how much went to help the schools? I'm glad we have these scenarios because you are seeing these transformations being done on the decimal question. So one movement to the left will give us $8.26. That is your 10% of the bill. But we know it's only 5% that went there. So half of this. Half of 26 is 13. Half of 8 is 4. So $4.13. Okay, my 5%. That's the donation that was made on that went to school. All right, guys, please make sure you have questions and concerns so we can address them in class.